There are two specific issues that I want to raise with the Commissioner. And the main issue that I want to raise with you, Commissioner, you've touched on in your initial contribution this morning, and that was the concern that there is, very genuine and heartfelt concern across the country, that wherever the divisional headquarters is based, that's where all of the superintendents will be based. And I know that you stressed this morning that that would not be the case in this instance, but I'm not naive enough to believe that that will happen in reality. I have heard many heads of organisations come in here before Oireachtas committees and state that, the staff will remain deployed across the country. But whether it's by osmosis or how it happens, but over time they drift to wherever the central headquarters is. And I have genuine concern in relation to the headquarters that is currently based in Roscommon, the divisional headquarters. And while you've said that this is a very new approach that's been taken, I find it very surprising that your predecessors on occasion tried to move the divisional headquarters from Roscommon to Castlebar, and now that concern is there again. And they tried to move the divisional headquarters from Mullingar to Navan, and funnily enough, that's there again. And I believe that over time, you will see all of the superintendents based in the divisional headquarters, and if we look at the alignment that's being proposed at the moment, the likelihood is that the superintendents will be based in Castlebar in Navan. Now, Project Ireland 2040 talks about designating Athlone as a growth centre, and that all government policy must take that into account. It hasn't taken it into account on this occasion. In fact, with this reconfiguration, the likelihood is that the nearest superintendent to the town of Athlone will be in Thurles in County Tipperary. And I don't think that that's good enough. We have a structure where the divisional headquarters currently in Roscommon is slap bang in the middle of this proposed new revision. It would make sense to service the three counties to locate it there, and I would hope that that would be reflected in any decision that takes place, and would leave a divisional headquarters within 30 kilometres of the town of Athlone. In that context, can I ask, in relation to the pilots that have taken place in Galway and Mayo, two rural districts, is there a superintendent in every single one of those district headquarters as we speak? Because that is the concern that we all have in relation to that. And yes, I welcome the increased footprint and more resources going out into the local Garda stations, but the decisions will be made by superintendents and chief superintendents, and these are very large geographic areas, and it is important that those headquarters are located as centrally as possible within the various divisions. The second question that I have for you is that, can you give a commitment here that there won't be a barrier to staff transferring between the divisions? We were provided with those assurances when the HSE was divided up across the country, and yet staff could not move from one geographic area to another. And I want a commitment from you, Commissioner, here, that if someone in Meath or in Louth wants to transfer to Roscommon, Mayo or Galway, that the fact that they're in a different division will not be a barrier to that transfer taking place. Thank you.
Commissioner.
Second point firstly, yes, I'm going to give absolutely that commitment. We are a national organisation. We provide a national service. If people apply for transfer, obviously they need a vacant post to transfer to, but that is often the only impediment to individuals moving between divisions. There's no bar to that whatsoever. It does require actually an organisational need, obviously as well. In respect of the superintendents, can I also just reiterate, we are not building new super headquarters. Our infrastructure will not permit all the superintendents to be in one building. So no matter what I say, unless they're all going to sit out in the backyard. They're not going to all be in the one building. There's not the space, and we haven't got the estate which will do that. So I'm also fearful, because things happen through osmosis despite grand plans, but I have no intention whatsoever of seeing superintendents gradually drift into divisional headquarters. Superintendents will be out and visible, not only to their staff, but to their local communities, and give you an absolute assurance about that. In respect of where we are situating divisional headquarters, we are taking a long look at that. We've consulted with the regional ACs, we've consulted with the chief superintendents, and we're taking into account a range of factors. But we will have to have a divisional headquarters where the chief superintendent is going to be. But in all of these things, I'm entirely consistent that the superintendent should be diffused throughout the division. And if I may use the example of Mayo at the moment, which is a pilot, superintendents have remained spread out through Mayo. So we've had a community engagement superintendent based in Claremorris and Ballina, whilst the divisional headquarters has been in Castlebar. And so that's the model that we've applied in Galway as well, and that's the model that we'll apply in these rural divisions. We want the superintendents to be out and about, not all situated in one divisional headquarters. Absolute assurance of that.